the 80s forgot these bands because the songs disappeared? That is not what happened. The songs stayed. The names slipped away.
Make you come back.
One band became famous through a hit that belonged to someone else first. Another had two songs America still knows, but the wrong one became the memory. If these bands ever came through your radio, your television, or a cassette in somebody's car, their stories may change how that whole decade sounds now. Number 15, Pseudo Echo. How does a band get remembered for a song that was already famous? Pseudo Echo came out of Australia, with the look and sound of a group built for the video age. Bright keyboards, sharp edges, a neon pulse that fit the middle of the decade perfectly. Then came Funky Town, their breakthrough cover of the lip-sync disco hit. It gave them the world, but it also took something from them.
Won't you take me to a funky town?
Because listening tells a different story. That song shows a band with its own synth rock identity before the cover became the headline. The mystery is not whether Pseudo Echo had talent. They did. The mystery is how their biggest success made so many people forget what they actually sounded like. Some bands missed their chance. This one got the chance, then watched it point backward. Number 14, When in Rome. The band disappeared almost completely. The feeling did not. When in Rome gave the late 80s one of its most quietly aching synth-pop moments with The Promise. It was smooth on the surface, but underneath, it felt like someone trying not to break while saying goodbye.
Look to a stranger, you know it.
That is why the song kept returning through movies, radio, and memory. People did not just hear it. They recognized the ache. But then there was
And if I had to walk the world, that'd make you fall for me.
Heaven Knows, another polished track that proved the band was not empty behind the hit. The problem was that nothing could escape the emotional gravity of
How much will it take to stay together?
The Promise. The name, When in Rome, faded, while the song kept walking through people's lives without them. That is a strange kind of immortality. The next band had more hits, more polish, and still faced the same vanishing act.
You're waiting for me. I asked
Number 13, Glass Tiger.
for so long. It's all I can take.
They asked not to be forgotten. Then history almost did it anyway. Glass Tiger were not some tiny band passing through the decade by accident. Don't Forget Me When I'm Gone was bright, confident pop rock, and it reached listeners far beyond Canada. Bryan Adams even appeared in the background,
Take my breath away.
giving the record another layer of 80s shine. For a moment, the band sounded like a future certainty. Then, Someday followed
Losing this fear.
and proved the first hit was not a fluke. Glass Tiger had the hooks. They had the production. They had the soft focus radio glow. But American memory can be ruthless.
Shedding your tears to cry over.
It kept the chorus, softened the edges, and slowly misplaced the band. That title became almost too perfect. They were saying the thing every pop band fears. And from that warning, we moved to a duo that made the past sound brand new. Number 12, Naked Eyes. They did not write the memory, they rebuilt it. Naked Eyes took Always Something There to Remind Me, a song from another era, and made it sound like it had been assembled inside an early 80s machine. The old ache was still there, but now it moved through bright synthesizers and clean electronic rhythms.
How can I forget you?
It was nostalgia, dressed as the future. Then, Promises, Promises showed the duo had more than one perfect electronic heartbreak in them. Still, most people filed Naked Eyes under one unforgettable remake and left the rest behind. That is the mystery. They modernized Memory so well that Memory trapped them in return. Did you remember Naked Eyes as a band, or only as that one song? Tell us in the comments. From that polished electronic sadness, the next band kicks the door open with something much messier. Number 11, Dramarama. This band did not sound like it wanted permission. Dramarama carried a rougher kind of 80s energy. Anything, Anything was not sleek synth pop. It sounded anxious, impatient, and dangerously alive, like a private argument suddenly spilling into public. That is why it never needed to become a massive chart smash to survive. It became the kind of song people handed to each other. And Last Cigarette proves the band had more than one nerve exposed. Dramarama understood desperation with a crooked smile. They could be funny, bitter, wounded, and loud in the same breath. The mystery is how a band with that much personality never became a permanent mainstream name. Maybe they were too raw for the decade's glossy center. Maybe that is why the people who found them held on harder. After that underground spark, the next band brings a voice built for the big stage. Number 10, Scandal. Sometimes the voice survives longer than the band around it. Scandal had that problem in reverse. Patti Smyth's voice was too powerful to forget, but the band name slowly became easier to misplace. Goodbye to You introduced that sharp, wounded confidence. It sounded like someone walking away while still making sure the whole room heard the door close. Then, the warrior pushed everything bigger. Bigger drums. Bigger chorus. Bigger image. For a moment, Scandal seemed built for the center of 80s rock. But the band's momentum did not hold the way Smyth's presence did. That is the strange part. The singer stayed clear in memory, while Scandal itself became a blur behind the songs. Their mystery is not whether they had star power. They did. The mystery is why the star power did not keep the whole band alive.
To be said with all our trust.
Number 9, Fra Lippo Lippi.
Make you come back.
In one country, they were almost invisible. In another, they became part of people's lives. Fra Lippo Lippi never sounded like they were chasing the American 80s machine. Shouldn't have to be like that. Had restraint, where other bands had volume.
Read many books and save every dream.
It moved quietly, with soft keyboards and a voice that seemed to step around pain instead of crashing into it. That may have made them hard to sell in one market, but unforgettable in another.
Things that need to be said with all our.
Then, Everytime I See You showed why their music traveled differently. It was gentle, melodic, and deeply emotional without ever begging for attention. The mystery is geography. How can the same band feel obscure in one place and beloved somewhere else? For listeners who found them, Fra Lippo Lippi were not a forgotten band at all. They were proof that memory depends on where you were standing. Number 8, Translator. Translator had the kind of name that almost predicted the problem. They were trying to translate nervous intelligence into new wave songs, but the mainstream never fully learned their language. Everywhere That I'm Not should have been their great crossing point. It had melody, tension, and that smart college radio charge that made a song feel like a secret you were lucky to catch. Critics and devoted listeners understood it. Pop radio mostly did not. Then there was Everywhere, a different song that carried its own emotional weight and even created confusion for some listeners because of its connection to John Lennon's death.
There is nothing to say tonight.
That mix-up almost says everything. Translator had songs worth remembering, but even their stories seemed to drift into the wrong rooms. Their mystery is near recognition. They stood close enough to be noticed, but just far enough away to become a cult memory. The alarm sounded like they were leading people somewhere. This was not delicate 80s pop. 68 Guns had the feel of a crowd lifting its voice before it knew exactly where it was marching. Acoustic guitars became weapons. Mike Peters sang like belief itself had a deadline. Then Strength took that same spirit and made it more personal, turning resolve into something you could carry alone. The mystery is how a band with that much conviction never became as massive as the feeling they created. They toured, they built loyalty, and they gave fans something that felt bigger than entertainment. But mainstream memory often favors the sleekest names. Not always the most devoted ones. If these hidden band stories are bringing the decade back for you, subscribe and stay with us, because the deeper we go, the more alive they become. Next, a band proves that one unforgettable image can survive, even after the lineup changes. Number 6. Animotion. Animotion had a hit that sounded like Obsession before you even knew the title. Obsession gave the band its defining moment. The male and female vocals circled each other with cold 80s tension, while the synths made everything feel sleek, stylish, and slightly dangerous. It was the kind of record that seemed designed for television screens, dance floors, and late-night radio. For many listeners, that was Animotion forever. But Room to Move complicates the story. It also found a real audience, though by then, the band's identity had shifted. That is the mystery. The name continued, but the chemistry people first remembered was no longer the same. Animotion became a band where the image, the sound, and the lineup did not stay perfectly attached. Sometimes the hit survives clearly, while the people inside the name become harder to see. Number 5. The Outfield. The Outfield sounded American enough to fool people, but they were 3 musicians from London. That was part of the trick. Your Love had the clean rush of American radio. All bright guitar, high vocals, and instant summer energy. It became so enormous that it swallowed almost everything around it. People knew the song, they knew the voice, but many never stopped to learn the band behind it. Then, Since You've Been Gone showed there was more to the Outfield than one perfect hook. They had the same melodic instinct, the same tight guitar-driven pulse, and the same sense of longing dressed as movement. The mystery is scale. How does one song become larger decades later than the band's name ever became? The Outfield did not lack craft. They simply made one record so big that it cast a shadow over everything else. Number 4. Quarterflash. Quarterflash had one sound nobody else could quite copy. It came from Rindy Ross, standing at the center of the band with a voice full of smoke and a saxophone cutting through the track like a warning light. Harden My Heart was not just another early 80s rock single. It had a shape, a color, and a signature that belonged to them alone. The song climbed high because it sounded instantly identifiable. Then, Find Another Fool proved that the formula still had power. But the same thing that made Quarterflash stand apart also locked them to a moment. That sax-driven edge felt perfect when radio wanted that sound, then suddenly less welcome when tastes moved on. Their mystery is brutal. The thing that made them unforgettable may also be the thing that kept them frozen in one place. Number 3. Book of Love. Book of Love did not try to sound huge. That was the point. In an era obsessed with oversized drums and giant choruses, they made electronic pop that felt small, strange, and strangely brave. Boy had the pulse of a club record, but also the feeling of something whispered between people who understood each other. It did not need to conquer the room. It only needed to find the right people inside it. Then, I Touch Roses pushed their delicate weirdness even further. Bells, synths, innocence, and unease all sat together in the same frame. The mystery is how quiet music can become radical without raising its voice. Book of Love never became a household name, but for the listeners who found them, they felt less like a band and more like a private signal. The next band takes that private signal and turns it into one unforgettable face.
We stopped and carved our hearts into the wooden surface.
Number 2, Till Tuesday. The band disappeared, but the songwriter was only beginning. That is what makes Till Tuesday feel different. Voices Carey gave them a major hit and gave Amy Mann an image people could not easily forget. Cool hair, wounded control, and a voice that sounded like it was trying to stay calm under pressure. The band had a perfect 80s moment, but it was also the beginning of a much longer story for the person at its center. Then, Coming Up Close revealed another side of them. Softer, more intimate, and closer to the songwriter Man would become later.
Back in the car and listen to a Dylan tape.
That is the mystery. Sometimes a band is not the final destination. Sometimes it is the doorway. Till Tuesday faded from the mainstream frame, but the talent inside it kept walking forward. And now, we reach a band with 2 songs everyone knows, yet the name still somehow gets left behind. Number 1, The Romantics Here. Is the trick memory played on The Romantics? They had 2 songs that refused to disappear, but history remembered them in the wrong order. Talking in Your Sleep was their biggest chart hit, the one that pushed them highest on American radio. Smooth, sharp, and built around a hook that could slip into your head and stay there. At that moment, the Romantics were not a footnote. They were right in the center of the decade. But What I Like About You became the louder ghost. It lived on through arenas, commercials, movies, and every place that needed instant energy. The strange part is that many people know that song without knowing the band, and know the band without knowing their biggest hit. That is why the Romantics belong here. Their music survived so well that it almost erased the people who made it, and maybe that is the real story of these 80s bands. They did not all vanish because the music failed. Some vanished because one song became too large. Some because the wrong market heard them. Some because the singer, the video, or the hook became easier to remember than the name on the record. But if you lived with these songs, even for a moment, the bands were never really gone. They were waiting behind the memory, ready to sound alive again.